Hello, my name is Sheena Trimiar, and I am the CEO of Educate and Explore and Premier Elite Marketing. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing and presenting to some people about the fabulous Nevaeh Brown. Nevaeh Brown is the 2019 Habersham Central High School Valedictorian. My passion has always been to help others, to give back, and to provide resources to help the youth in the community. Today, I have the pleasure of being here with the fabulous Nevaeh Brown, and she recently actually just received several important scholarships. But before that, she had the chance to read the 21-Day Success Plan book written by myself. Now, Nevaeh, tell me a little bit about what you learned and the key important aspects of mentoring.
One of the biggest things that I learned was picking the right mentor. You didn't just want to pick anybody, you wanted to pick somebody that you could trust and somebody that you could confide in, and most importantly, somebody that would challenge you to be a better you.
Awesome. And the key word right there was challenge. You always need somebody to help take you to the next level, because we, as humans, we think we know it all, but we really don't. So, how important has it been for you to balance your lifestyle? Now, a lot of people might know that you were a competition cheerleader amongst other several activities in the community. How did you normally start your day off and finish your day off?
So one of the most important things about finding balance is you don't want to get too overwhelmed, because everything that I did, I wanted to do. I wasn't just doing it to say that I did, so that was helpful. And a normal day for me looks like waking up, going to school, and then going to practice or either going to work and then going home and loving on family and friends. But in between that was clubs, practices, did all kinds of different things.
Okay. Wow, I seem tired. That seems tiring. Plus, also tell us how you kept your academic life in balance.
So school is very important to me because I know that not everybody has the opportunity to have the same educational opportunities that I have. So I wanted to make the most out of them, and the first time I was ever first in class was in the 7th grade, and then once I got it, I was like, oh my goodness, if I got this without trying, what could I do if I would try?
Awesome.
And I just wanted to keep it.
Awesome. 7th grade, wow. Well, I can tell you this, she had to have perseverance, she had determination, and most of all, she had a goal. Now, tell us about once you finally received the notification that you were valedictorian, what was the first thought in your head?
So my first reaction was a sigh of relief, because I've put years and a whole bunch of hours and sleepless nights into wanting this, and so for it to all finally pay off, I was just so excited and I couldn't have been happier. And I was actually surprised because there are so many intelligent and competitive people in my class that for it to finally be me, I was just so honored.
The 21-Day Success Plan workbook is perfect for middle schoolers and high schoolers. However, I know that you've had plenty of mentors along the way, probably including your parents, probably including your friends. But tell me today, what do you think was the most important factor in finding a mentor?
I think finding a mentor who I could build the deepest relationship with, somebody who I knew that when I had trouble, I didn't have to feel like I was going to disappoint them when I told them, somebody who I knew would support me through everything I did, and even when I messed up, their job was going to be to help me get back on track instead of just being angry or upset with me.
That's right. Always having a mentor on your side is always the best route to go. However, please explain to me, what do you think is the best or most resourceful way for kids to stay connected with their teachers and their counselors or any faculty within the school system?
Don't be afraid to initiate conversation. I feel like a lot of times students feel that because they are inferior maybe to their administrators, that they're scared to go up to them, but their job is to help you and to make you better and to ensure you to be successful once you graduate from high school.
Correct.
So I would think just having enough confidence to say, hey, I need help. Can you help me is important.
Okay, that's awesome. And also, don't forget to use your resources, especially your counselors and your high school graduation coach, if you have one at your high school. Always be involved in your community. Now, Nevaeh, tell me a little bit about some of the community scholarships that you have received and that you applied for, and that you just wanted to send your information out to hopefully receive financial assistance.
So just to name a few, I've received scholarships from the Reading Divas and the Wisteria Club, who focus on students who really have a need for financial assistance, but are also putting in the work. And then I know most recently I've also received the Brian Jordan Foundation scholarship, and through that it pretty much eliminates not having money as an excuse to be successful. Because having these scholarships, they pay the way for you to be successful, so that's not something you're worried about when you go to college.
Correct. And a lot of students nowadays, they fail to actually ask for help or either to look into further resources. And I know that Nevaeh has spoken with me about some opportunities to kind of help her further her education. And I'm so glad you did. You just never know. Windows are open, new opportunities are open. Now, tell me this. So, after you actually applied and got accepted, how much of a relief or how happy were you to find out that you actually put in that work and it came actually to help you and your family financially?
It was actually a big relief because I knew that applying to Georgia, the next step after being like, oh, I was finally accepted, was now how am I going to pay for it? And then so to see that there are people in this community who were looking out for me and also wanted me to go to college just made me all the more want to fight for my spot at UGA, because it made me see that I belong there, because if other people are helping me go there and I want to go there myself, then that's where I belonged.
So we know nowadays a lot of kids are under pressure. Peer pressure, pressure to do good in school, pressure to hang out with their friends, pressure all around. Even as adults, we have pressure. Kind of tell me, how hard of a deal was it to kind of block out all those haters and to continue to push forward in your school and your competition cheerleading, as far as, you competing plus doing well in the classroom?
I think the biggest thing was having the right attitude and remembering who I was doing, what I was doing for. I'm somebody who I like to be a leader to others. I like to be a role model, so I wouldn't want anybody else doing something that I wouldn't do. I liked being the cheerleader that the younger cheerleaders wanted to be like. I like being the student that other teachers could depend on to mentor other students. I just like being the go-to student, and sorry.
You're all around the top-notch queen, diva, valedictorian, all in all. And I'm so glad that you're here today with me. Great choice, by the way. Go Dogs. My second book, called The Game Plan Strategies, is coming out soon. I do have the privilege of kind of giving Nevaeh some insight on what it is about. However, I would like everyone to stay tuned. So the title of the book is called Game Plan Strategies, and the acronyms are GPS. However, I know that students nowadays always need a way to kind of track themselves and to kind of, keep on a daily routine. And we know that a GPS is used as a navigation system in a car to help guide. So Nevaeh, tell me a little bit about how you plan on taking your freshman year, starting out strong, and taking the game plan strategy into effect.
So in high school, I was involved in a lot because I got used to being involved in a lot in school. But I know that my mission for college is to go in there and excel with my education.
Correct.
So this first year, that's what I solely want to focus on. It's just making sure that I'm making the most out of my classes, doing the best that I can. That way it'll prepare me for the years to come, because I want to be successful there just like I was in high school. And if it takes not doing extracurriculars at first to get there, then that's what I want to do.
Awesome, awesome. And I was going to ask you about, you've done competition cheerleading for forever. You're such a great athlete. And now that you're transitioning to college life, how has that kind of been a difference in putting down your gym shoes and now you're putting really on your thinking cap full time? Tell me about, what are your thoughts about becoming a full-time student as a freshman at University of Georgia?
So luckily, I love Athens. I love the campus of the University of Georgia, so I'm super excited. However, it's very sad because I considered being a cheerleader as part of my identity. So part of me's not ready to let it go, but I know that it's time, so that way I can succeed how I want to.
Awesome. Well, you still got that spirited voice and the spirited look.
Thank you.
Most beautiful girl as ever. So I know you will have fun at University of Georgia regardless of what you are partaking in. Now, tell me a little bit about how you plan on making each day count. You told me earlier about your high school routine. Okay, now I want to know a little bit about how you're going to transition what you have had success in to a freshman in college.
So I've already talked about this to myself. One thing that I want to do is have like goals that I set every day, whether it be make a new friend, go to office hours, maybe study for half an hour longer than I did the day before, whatever it'll be to make this huge campus feel smaller and less lonely.
Awesome, awesome. And also, Educate and Explore, we'll be checking in on you to make sure that you're holding yourself accountable, as well as we're going to give you some resources to kind of help guide you along, especially on your first couple of months.
Yes, that'll be nice.
Awesome. Now, in this new book called Game Plan Strategies, in the first chapter, I talk about 3 critical points on how to really strategize. The first point is staying true to your vision. The second point is knowing your worth and your value. And the third is evolving and changing your habits. And whether that's, short-term or long-term goal, you always have to be thinking ahead of time to stay, pretty much up to date, especially with the current technology that we have. A lot of times, students nowadays use a computer, use a cell phone. So how do you think technology has really helped improve students' resources?
I think it makes things more accessible for students. It also makes things more convenient because it's easier when you need something to have your phone right there. And for me, I know that I've been in Habersham my whole life, so to have something that's going to make communication back home easier is going to be nice for college.
That's true, that's true. Nothing against Habersham. We're a small town. We're a small town. And it's not too far from Athens. So that's good that you'll still have communication with your family. And you'll also be able to hopefully come home on some events that I have as well. Awesome. So with the second chapter in the book, I'm basically talking about how to set a routine. Now, I keep saying routine because the studies have showed if you're consistent 21 consecutive days, then that creates a great habit. Now, I know that you're going to go to UGA, go in hard, study hard, but sometimes you kind of get off track. You lose motivation. You might, join a club. You have less time to focus on academics, and that's fine. You're a student, right? So tell me, how do you plan on staying on track?
One thing that I've found very important here at home is having friends, teachers, and even my parents, just any person that could hold me accountable. So I know one of the most important things going into college will be finding the right people who I know will keep me on track and hold me accountable and make sure I'm doing what I need to do and make sure I'm also keeping my goal in mind.
That's awesome. Everything she just said was in my 3 points. Staying true to your value, knowing your worth, and evolving and changing habits. As a student, you have to learn how to adjust. whether that's your atmosphere that you're in or whether that's your habits that you're doing daily. Now, Nevaeh, tell me a little bit about your experience and how you would help someone either in high school or either a middle schooler kind of prepare and pretty much have the mindset to never give up.
So you mentioned staying true to yourself, and I found what's most important when you're applying to college and when you're going to these orientations and applying for scholarships, they want to know what makes you you. Correct. So it's easy to look good on paper, but what's hard is to stand out on paper, because especially when you're not having things like interviews, it's what they're going to read about you that's going to stand out and make them want you. So it's always good to remember who you are and what your values are. And so that way they're seeing when they're reading these things, wow, I like this about her, or I like that she's different because of this. And so make yourself stand out. And being who you are is what's going to make you stand out instead of trying to be like everybody else.
In other words, be a game changer, right?
Yes.
And go all out. Everything she has done has been above and beyond. Nevaeh, so this upcoming year, I will be presenting one high school student with a scholarship called Beyond the Journey. Now, I would like you to help come back and present this award because I feel that you were very well honored and deserved. And however, I do want you to actually become a mentor and kind of give back to the community and to the students in this area. Would that be something you'd be interested in?
I would love to. I would love to do that.
As the CEO of Educate and Explore and Premier Elite Marketing, my passion has always been to give back to others and to not only have the resources available to the youth in the community, but to actually give them a way to help explore the world with new opportunities and new atmospheres. So with the Educate part, I do have the 2 books, the 21-Day Success Plan, and then the Game Plan Strategy book. However, the second part of my company is called Explore. Now, explore can mean different things. We know that the youth nowadays have many opportunities to do different activities. However, with Educate and Explore, the main goal is to help kids discover more. And that's through exploring new places and exploring new possibilities. So mentoring is all about getting to know, first, someone personally, and second, for them to know you. There's got to be interaction, there's got to be communication, there's got to be credibility. So I'm going to take a couple minutes to dig deeper and to find out a little bit about the real Nevaeh Brown. Now here comes the fun part. Let's dig a little deeper and find out a few interesting questions that most people probably didn't know about Nevaeh. Now Nevaeh, if you could be any animal, what would you be?
I would definitely have to say a lion or a lioness just because of my personality. I see myself as a leader. I'm very fierce and I have a go-getter attitude. So.
Awesome, that's right. Fierce, I like it. And sassy too. All right, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
I would definitely go to Europe, I think, because of all the history and the architecture and just the new experiences that I would have on the other side of the world. And it would definitely be different from home, and that's what I'm hoping to achieve when I go to college. So that's definitely where I would want to go to travel.
Awesome. See, there goes that explore part I was talking about. Adventuring to new places, exploring new possibilities and places. All right, third question. Nevaeh, if you could become a teacher, what subject would you teach and why?
Okay, I have 2 in mind. I would either teach math because my favorite thing about math is you for sure have to get an answer. So with math, you know when you get the answer wrong. And the second subject would be English because I love that when I take an English class or a language arts class, it's more about digging deeper and it's more about interpretation. So you come up with the answers. You decide what you think is best. And I think that's what really makes people be creative. because you're challenging them to come up with their own answers instead of just having a strict answer.
Awesome. Would you be a strict teacher?
No.
Fourth question. If you could be a color, what color would you like to be?
Pink is my favorite color, so I would have to be pink. It's so much fun. It's sassy like me, and it stands out.
So, on any given day, if you could just lounge around, hang out, not think about school, not think about work, what would you want to do?
Well, I'm always so busy, so I think I would sit at home in my Snuggie and I would binge watch Netflix.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, I have one more question I have to sneak in. If you could, what would be your dream job right now? Without going to University of Georgia, if you could just have a dream job right now, what would it be?
I would be president of the United States.
Ooh, awesome. Maybe the first female president.
So now it's my turn to ask you some questions with you being a mentor.
Okay.
So what was the transition like once you graduated from college and you started your career path? How was that?
Okay. Well, similar to your story, I did have a goal in mind, a plan in mind, and I had a strategy. And the great thing about my kind of transition from college to career life is I had a mentor. I had a teacher here at Piedmont College that actually helped me apply for jobs, get my resume out there, put down all my skill sets onto paper, and basically submit everything out. However, it took a lot of work, and as we know that the job market is competitive. So my first career job was actually working for the Gwinnett Braves baseball team, now known as the Gwinnett Stripers. But just, being accepted and actually having the interviews and, that whole process was a couple of weeks long. So the transition for me started immediately after I graduated from college. Luckily and gratefully, I was able to have my first job within 2 months after graduating from college.
Wow. Also, what kind of time and energy do you have to put in now being a mentor and an entrepreneur?
Wow, don't you see my face? Don't you see bags under my eyes? You know what? It has its advantages and disadvantages. You just have to stay true to your vision, and that's the reason why I wrote the book, Game Plan Strategies. Living day to day is hard and tough, but without a plan, that makes it even tougher. And I'm a mom, and I have 2 businesses plus 2 new books. So, balancing the work life plus the mommy life is not always easy. But at the end of the day, it's like my passion drives me back to basically my purpose. And my purpose has been to give back and to help other young ladies like yourself.
Okay, so what has been the most rewarding things about being an entrepreneur and some of the most difficult things?
All right, let's start with the good part first, which is the rewarding part. Just seeing me affect other kids mentally, physically, financially, just giving them a hope or a second chance. That's always rewarding at the end of the day. Like you said, as an entrepreneur, you put in so much time and effort, and to see your fulfillment going into help positively affect others' lives, that's just the best part for me. I can wake up every day and say, hey, I've tried to help students day by day to help them get to their next level.
I've also seen how you've helped me, and I'm thankful for that. And I know that there's other people out there who are wanting to do the same for others. So what advice would you give future mentors and entrepreneurs?
Awesome. And as a local resident of Habersham County, I've also kind of been in contact with a lot of the organizations and kind of being involved with some churches and other schools as well. So I highly encourage students to find a mentor, which is critical in helping you succeed. And not only that, to have a game plan strategy. And that's what's so important about the book that's coming out. If you don't have a vision, you don't have a purpose, and that kind of sets you back from somebody that does. And we know that this is a competitive world, and if you're not physically prepared, mentally prepared, then you might just be stuck at plan B. And I know that plan A is always what everybody wants to happen, but sometimes you got to have a plan B as well. And that is to execute and to go after what your vision was at first. Wow, we've had such a great day. And the main purpose of us being here today is to help students educate
And explore.
Educate.
And explore.
Awesome. Great job. Students, put your game face on, go out, dream big, and always remember to educate and explore.